Poetic techniques are tools that poets use to make their writing more powerful and interesting. These techniques help create vivid pictures in the reader's mind, emphasize important ideas, and make the poem more enjoyable to read. Let's go over some common poetic techniques, including imagery, personification, oxymorons, onomatopoeia, and repetition. Imagery is when a poet uses words and descriptions that appeal to our senses: sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. Imagery helps the reader imagine a scene more clearly and creates a strong emotional connection. For example, instead of saying, "the sun set," a poet might write, "The golden sun dipped behind the horizon, painting the sky with streaks of orange and pink." This makes the reader picture the scene in their mind and feel its beauty or peacefulness. Example, "The cold wind stung my cheeks, and the trees swayed like dancers in a storm." Here, the imagery appeals to the sense of touch, cold wind, and sight, swaying trees, to help the reader imagine the scene. Personification is when poets give human qualities to something that isn't human, like animals, objects, or even ideas. This technique helps make things more relatable or vivid by describing them in a way that we can connect with emotionally. Example, "The wind whispered through the trees." Here, the wind is being described as if it can whisper, which makes it feel more alive and mysterious. "The flowers danced in the breeze." The flowers are given the human ability to dance, which makes the scene feel lively and joyful. An oxymoron is when two words with opposite meanings are put together to create an interesting or surprising idea. Oxymorons are used to show complexity, contradictions, or even humor. They can make the reader stop and think about what the poet is trying to say. Example, "bittersweet." This is a common oxymoron that combines two opposite feelings, bitterness and sweetness. It can describe something that is both sad and happy at the same time, like a memory that makes you smile but also makes you miss someone. Deafening silence. This oxymoron describes a moment that is so silent that it feels overwhelming, almost like it has a powerful presence. Onomatopoeia is when a word sounds like the thing it describes. These sound words make a poem more lively and fun to read, as they help the reader hear the sounds in the poem. Onomatopoeia is often used in poetry to create atmosphere or bring certain scenes to life. Example, "The bees buzzed around the garden." The word buzzed sounds like the actual noise bees make, which makes the scene feel more real. "The thunder boomed in the distance." The word boomed sounds like the deep, loud sound of thunder, helping the reader imagine the storm. Repetition is when words, phrases, or lines are repeated in a poem. This technique is used to emphasize important ideas or to create a certain mood or rhythm. Repeating key words or lines can make them stand out and stick in the reader's mind, giving them more impact. Example, "And miles to go before I sleep." "And miles to go before I sleep," from Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. The repetition of "and miles to go before I sleep" emphasizes the speaker's sense of duty and the long journey ahead. Repetition can also create a musical effect in a poem, helping to establish a rhythm that makes the poem more engaging. Poets use these techniques to make their writing more expressive, vivid, and meaningful. By using imagery, they help the reader visualize the scene. Personification brings inanimate things to life, making the writing more relatable. Oxymorons add complexity or surprise to the meaning. Onomatopoeia makes the poem feel more alive by allowing the reader to hear the sounds being described. Repetition helps emphasize important points and can give the poem a musical quality. Understanding these techniques can help you appreciate how poems are written and how they create meaning. When reading poetry, look out for these techniques and think about how they shape your feelings and thoughts about the poem.